My baby's father demanded that our baby take his last name and not ours, saying his child would only have one surname, so I followed his instructions to a T and gave the baby mine instead. Posted by u/carelesshornet4343. So I had a baby some weeks ago with my partner, to whom I'm not married. We've been together a while, and I've made many compromises in this relationship. While discussing the baby's name, we had a few disagreements, but ultimately decided on a name we both liked well enough. The surname was a sticking point. He wanted the baby to have his name alone. I offered to hyphenate because, logistically, it's easier for the baby to have both of our names. He's been drinking the red pill Kool-Aid lately, a major bone of contention in this relationship, and went off about how it's tradition, and the right thing to do and his right as a man for the baby to have his surname. He told me I'd be emasculating him and might as well be a single parent if I wouldn't grant him this one little ask. My word is final, the baby's having one surname. This was late in my pregnancy, and I didn't have it in me to fight, so I told him that I understood what he was saying. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago when the baby's birth certificate came. He blew a gasket when he saw that I'd given the baby my surname. He rehashed the conversation above, saying I agreed to give the baby his surname. I did nothing of the sort. I told him I understood him, which I did, but I never said I agreed with him. I told him there was no way I was doing all the work of making a baby for him to stick his name on it. When he brought up tradition, I told him it's also traditional for him to marry me before having a baby, but he was happy to ignore that. I told him it was traditional for him to be the provider, but I do that too, and I pointed out other holes in his logic. I told him trying to bully me into submission with his red pill BS when I was exhausted from pregnancy didn't work. He should have known better than to expect me not to share a surname with my child. He said the baby should only have one surname, they do. So why's he mad? He went crying to his brothers and mother, all traditionalists and misogynists, and now they're all up in arms. Am I the jerk for deliberately misunderstanding my child's father? Edit to add, there seems to be some confusion, we are not married or engaged. I don't believe in it, and he's never seen the point of bringing the state into your relationship, so we agreed to never marry. He's on the birth certificate as the father, baby just has my last name, but the father is listed. Thanks for your feedback. I'll be asking him to come for a talk so I can plainly address the issues you guys have helped me see. Thank you for that. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Was he not there when you were filling out the forms? Because that's pretty telling too. What to name the baby is definitely a valid conversation to have, but he wasn't having a conversation with you. He was trying to bulldoze you without compromise. Ops response. I registered the baby on my own. He was there for the birth and everything, but his paternity leave was pretty short, so the admin of registering fell on me. Commenter 2. You told the truth and nothing more. If I read your post correctly, you agreed the baby would have one surname. You didn't agree to which one. So, why are you still with this guy? He doesn't respect you. He doesn't provide for you and the baby? Please don't say because you need him or love him. Needing him is like a fish needing a bicycle. Ops response. I am reconsidering the relationship. The truth is he wasn't always like this. He fell on hard times and unfortunately chose to cope with that in an unhealthy way. At his core, I believe he is good, but I need to have a frank conversation about the ideologies he's leaning into and the harm it's causing in our relationship. Commenter 3. Why are you still in contact with all those people that do nothing for you? Seems you would lose a lot of stress, anxiety, and financial hardships just cutting this person loose. Ops response. Which people, sorry? Baby's dad and his family? He stormed out on Thursday night. Friday morning his mother sent me a voice note berating me, I've since received messages from his family criticizing me for my decision, but no word from my partner. I have not responded to any of them, so it's one-way comms at the moment. Update 1 month later. So it turns out he's got deep-seated resentment for me. He resents me for 1. Earning more money than him. 2. Being further along in my career than he is. 3. Not losing my job during COVID like he did. 4. Having parents who love and support me. 5. Not being a submissive woman. 6. Having a present and loving father. 7. Not combining our finances, under his control, thus making him feel small. So when I last came here, I said I'd asked him to come home and discuss our future with the baby, preferably in the presence of a neutral party. He left me on red for a few days, though I could see he was spying on us through the Ring doorbell and baby's monitor. I disconnected them both, and he finally responded. He came home, still irate. His stance hadn't changed, he seemed to have been bolstered by the days he spent with his family. He rejected my request for us to do this in the presence of a couples therapist, the best neutral compromise I could offer. I asked him how he proposed we move forward, and he went on a rant where the above came out. It was a full mask off moment. If there was any part of me that wanted you guys to be wrong about him, it died that day. He again rejected the offer to hyphenate the baby's surname. Apparently, I'm disrespectful and insolent. Funny enough, his mother's favorite words to scold people she disagrees with, for refusing to do what's right and give the baby their rightful surname. I told him I won't go through the administrative nightmare of having a different surname than my child, and lots of data shows a double-barreled surname is social currency that has positive connotations. Nope, he wouldn't budge. I told him neither would I. Baby either has both our surnames or mine alone. He asked if this was a hill I wanted the relationship to die on, if I was prepared to throw half a decade down the drain over my silly little feminism. I told him I wasn't sure there was anything left to fight for. We broke up. Thankfully, his name, lease expires at the end of May. I called my dad, and he came to help me pack up the baby. X went back to his mom's while we packed. I messaged him to suggest we still need couples counseling, we need to learn to be co-parents, and they can help us establish a healthy way of doing that. He again said no to that, so yeah. My mom wanted to take me and the baby on a baby moon holiday after this stressful period, but he wouldn't grant permission for me to take the baby abroad. It was at that moment I wished I didn't have him on the birth certificate, like some of you all accused me of. It's going to be a long road ahead. I've instructed a lawyer to help us set up a formal agreement to avoid this in the future. He's not responding to correspondence from the lawyer, so that's fun. He's sulking, used to do this a lot when things didn't go his way. I hope he'll soon realize I no longer have time for his BS, and I won't be toyed with because I called his bluff and ended the relationship. To end on a bright note, the house I wanted us to buy a couple of years ago, which he talked me out of until he was back on his feet again despite us being able to afford it on my salary alone, is back on the market. I took it as fate. It's time to move on from this man. It's a beautiful Victorian terrace near good schools, good transport links, a small garden, and close to my parents. It'd be the perfect home for the baby and me. I put in an offer last night, wish me luck. It's in a chain, so if my offer's accepted it won't be ours for months, but my parents have allowed the baby and me to move into their granny annex for free, my village. /relevant comments. Commenter. He sounds like a horrible person, and he'll probably pass down his horrible ideologies about women and relationships to your child, but hey, I don't know you or him, no offense, and that relationship, but is co-parenting even worth it? Ops response. I mean, he hasn't asked to see the baby since we broke up, so, to be honest, I don't think I'll have to do much co-parenting with him. Commenter 2. Unless there's an actual custody order in place, you don't need permission to take that baby anywhere. Ops response. I wish that were true. In my country, you need permission from both parents to take a child out of the country. Second update 2 months 2 weeks later. Hi, this is really more of a method to help me process, per my therapist's guidance, rather than anything else. He's dead. He died a week after my last update. His funeral was last month, and it's been hell. He heard from a mutual friend that I'd put an offer in on the house and came to my parents', where baby and I were staying, in a drunken rage. It was late, after 10, and he was causing a ruckus and disturbing the neighbors. He wouldn't leave and kept hurling nasty things at me, how I was keeping his baby from him despite him making zero effort to see them after we separated, how I robbed him of his legacy, how I couldn't wait to be rid of him, and how much he hated me. He went from begging to pleading, to cursing me out and trying to kick down my parents' door, to crying. I opened a window and told him to leave or we'd call the police. He refused, so we called them. He ran away. I'm still not sure on the details because his family won't tell me, but I gather he was trying to cross a busy road with the awareness of a drunk, angry man and got hit by a car. He died before the ambulance arrived. I found out when his mother called, screaming down the phone, crying about how I'd killed him. She blames me. Even at his funeral she made sure to tell people how I was to blame for her baby boy's death. I know it's not my fault. Rationally and logically, I did not tell him to make the series of bad decisions that led to his death, but I still feel guilty. His mother tried to claim his life insurance that I paid for. She said he told her he'd change it for her to be the beneficiary. I don't know how true it is, but I refused and told her the purpose was to help set baby up for life if one or both of us met an untimely death, so that's what it will do. She's threatened to sue me, but I don't know where that will lead. I am exhausted. I'm tired and I'm grieving, and I'm being told I have no right to mourn him. We got the house, but it won't be ready until late September. His mother tried to claim a share of that too, even though her son made no contributions to it. They've made no efforts to see baby and refused to let me visit the funeral parlor with them to say goodbye to their dad. I'm so drained. I was supposed to go back to work soon, but thankfully my employer is understanding. We've booked a trip out of the country while we wait for the house's completion. I've become the target of a harassment campaign from ex's family, who are calling me all sorts. I don't know why I'm sharing this here. Perhaps because I've deleted all my own social media accounts, it's nice to be able to post somewhere where no one knows me, where no one will accost me in the streets, or at work, or at home to call me a murderer. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I am very sorry for your pain, and I'm glad you got professional help to process everything. As you said yourself, he made a lot of terrible decisions. It was he who made a drunken dash across the streets. Even if it sounds mean, you and your little one will be much safer in the long run. If you can, add a good lawyer to your team to keep your ex's family away. Get them to work against this harassment, and make an excellent will and custody arrangement for a worst-case scenario, so your little one can grow up with safe people and not your ex's family. Commenter 2. Honestly, considering the trajectory of resentment, misogyny, and rage he was on, I'm glad he only took himself out and not you and the baby, too. And at least you can travel abroad now and don't have to face the hassle of co-parenting. I'm very sorry for your loss, but I think you mainly lost a good memory of what he used to be to you, and what he hasn't been in a long time. Block all his family, just ignore them, and move on. Good luck and much happiness in your new house with your new baby.